today we're going to have one panel discussion. It's entitled, How Does Marketing Scale with Your Startup? And as some of you may have seen on LinkedIn, we quoted Jen Baird. She's a serial entrepreneur. She writes a weekly blog. And last year she wrote one that a startup needs to crawl, then walk, then run. And so that's what you're going to see today in this panel. As a startup grows, there's different stages that they have to go through. So I'm going to invite April Christian Davis up here. She's president of Breakout Marketing Group, and she will invite the panelists up.
Thank you, Dave. Could I say hello to everyone this evening? Hello. Hey. My name is April Christian Davis. I just got back from Japan for the last 4 weeks, so bear with me. I'm excited. I'm wearing the latest fashion from Japan. You know, I'm also, I want to apologize to my friends because I knew I had to do this assignment in January, and you know how we do the, training, or we do the online training, and we try to do all that while we're out of the country. So we had a couple of little blurps here and there, but guess what? The speakers showed up. So Nadia, please come forward. Marianne, please come forward. And Bill, please come forward. Take a seat right over there. And Dr. Sherry, she actually went to the Spark office in Ypsilanti. So she's on her way. She was very busy. She works right across the street from Eastern Michigan University. So please, when she comes, can someone make sure she comes and sit down with us? Even if she's able to share one insight with us, we'll take it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and now before I start this wonderful journey, because of the difficulty I had with putting everybody together, I bought something gift from Japan. So this is some chocolate from Japan, and I want each one of you to just take one out. Don't worry about that, and pass it down. It's individually wrapped and secure, so please don't worry about it. And while I was in Japan, if you're a coffee drinker, I found some coffee that when you're on the run and you have no time to get to Starbucks, or there's no Starbucks there, I found these sample coffee that has the cream and sugar already in it. So you get one of these too. Take one and pass it down. All right.
April, can I eat this and drive home?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You sure can. Thank you so much. And thank you all for coming tonight on this beautiful, is it spring yet? No. Okay, it's gonna be spring soon. Tomorrow is spring. You know how I know? Because tomorrow's my birthday. Yeah, so it's always the first day of spring. I've always knew that. That's why my mother was supposed to name me April, but I came in March. So, yeah, that's how I got my name. So we still have some wonderful guests here. Thank you all for showing up and being with us today. Let's start. And Corey, my right-hand man, he's going to be helping me with questions. He just says, April, I'll just come up and get a couple of questions when you're ready. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's start with Nadia. And I want you to just give me a brief introduction of who you are in just a few minutes so that the audience know your background, where you came from, and how you relate to this topic.
Hello. Can you hear me? I'm on the low side, so I need to scream. I'm Dr. Nadia Boutawi. I'm a PhD in genetics. I used to be a faculty at the University of Pittsburgh for 9 years. Before that, I was at Harvard Medical School. And then I got the entrepreneurial bug to get innovations from the lab into the market. While at the faculty at Pitt, I did what's called Tech Innovation and Entrepreneurship certification. It wasn't enough for me. I followed it up with an executive MBA with focus on healthcare. I started NanoNurse as part of my research at Pitt. It's in the pre-seed stage, and what we do is we develop tools in preclinical testing so we improve efficacy for faster drug development. I believe we can't go alone. It's very important to build a community. So I started a community called Entrepreneurs in Healthcare, Wellness, and Tech. We do live show every week to talk about different aspects of healthcare. LinkedIn Live, you can find it on my YouTube channel. It's a huge library.
Great. Is that on Wednesdays?
Wednesdays at noon. So join me live on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Aside from that, I create content. That's how I gain clarity. I have a couple of newsletters. One is about innovation, business, and leadership. It has over 8,000 subscribers. And another one about AI in business. And that one was recent. And I'm developing workshops to maximize productivity for entrepreneurs and startups.
And that's why we have you here. Let's give
And
her a
I'm
round of
mother
applause.
four. Before that, I'm a mom in chief of 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. I have my plate full.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, so next we have Marianne.
For having me. My name is Marianne Apley, and I have been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole career. I started out owning a market research firm, now it's called Customer Insight Firm, when I was 26, just left General Motors Strategic Planning and did that. Sold that company, took some time off, and now I'm working at the Entrepreneurship Center at WCC, running the incubator, which is part-time. I teach at Saginaw Valley marketing classes. I have a startup called the Apple Truck, which I'm on year 4. We're making it. Lots of pivoting. I love the story. I could totally relate to a lot of it. Lots of money went out of our hands, but yeah, we learned a lot of lessons. And I also consult for a company called C-Space, which we do work in the tech industry. Have you heard of it? Yeah, out of Boston. So I do that. I do a lot of different things. So
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And we also have an NEF member, Bill. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks, April. My name is Bill Taylor, and I'm actually an electrical engineer, so I'm not sure why I'm up here.
It's okay, Bill.
Okay, I started my career as an electrical engineer, but for the last 40 years, I've been a executive in sales and marketing roles, ranging from early stage startups all the way to a brief stint at IBM. Don't hold that against me. I got there through an acquisition and stayed 1 microsecond longer than my earnout. I'm currently the CMO of an early stage startup company in California that's in data and analytics for supply chain. Just before that, I worked for a firm called Chief Outsiders. And it's a firm of chief marketing officers. Think of it like a law firm, a set of lawyers who are CMOs. There's 120 of us nationwide, and we provide fractional CMO services to all sorts of companies, and we help them to find their growth engines.
Thank you so much. That's very extensive background you all have, and I'm so happy to be a part of that. I'm April Davis, of course. I've been in marketing for over 25 years. Ooh. And also I'm the new editor for Ipsy Press, which is reporting on positive news in the community and kind of changing the narrative of anything negative. So I'm really happy to do that and happy to take my business and opportunities globally. So while I was in Japan, I was networking and building business relationships, et cetera. And that's what I think we should all do. Like, it's always good to learn other cultures and be aware of how other people do business as well. So I've been a part of NEF for about 6 years, and this is a great organization to belong to. I invite you to become a member, to share your experiences. But my first question, and if you all have a question, please write it down in case we don't cover that. Write it on a piece of paper and give it to Corey, and we will definitely try to answer that, okay? Anything that has to relate to marketing in your business. So any one of you can answer the questions. Because there's no particular order, because you all have a different perspective. That's why we asked you to be here. But what role does you think that digital marketing play in scaling a startup? And what are some of the digital key channels that people should take? Would you like to start? Because I know you do AI. Yes.
Sure, I'll start. I believe when it comes to offer and demand, a lot of people, they get it the other way around. They work, they spend a lot of time on developing their products or their services, and then when it's close to getting to market, that's when they start thinking about marketing, developing those relationships. It should be the other way around. You should create more demand so you are oversubscribed. And when you are oversubscribed, it gives you leverage in pricing, it gives you leverage in which customers to sell to, and that's a huge thing for startups. How you do that, I believe that CEOs should be growing their brands. In doing so, they elevate their marketing, they elevate their companies. That creates a tide that can bring more return for their startups. How you do that and how you can leverage AI for that, for example, is by better understanding your target market, your niche, not only what they are thinking, but what they are feeling and what they are doing. And in doing so, you are connecting with them at a deeper level. And when you connect with somebody at a deeper level, when you get to your messaging, your sales, your marketing, it's going to resonate. It will have higher conversion and so on. And
Thank
with that,
you.
I'll pass it on.
April,
Yes,
can I ask a clarifying on that real quick?
absolutely.
So if I heard that right, I want to make sure I heard that right. Focus on the personal brand to make sure you're jiving with the business brand and elevate everything together, is that?
I would, for CEOs, I would say prioritize your personal brand. If, for example, you look at big CEOs, Elon Musk or other CEOs, they have millions of following on their personal side and much lower on their company side. And it's their brand, what's called brand equity, that drives revenue. There was this, it was actually real. There was a joke about Elon Musk creating a drink, and within 24 hours it sold out because of his brand.
Right, right. Before we go on, let's please welcome Dr. Sherry Vick. Thank you for
Thank
your
you very
efforts in
much.
trying. She went to the Ypsilanti. Yes, you went to the Finchspark, but you made it, and I'm so glad that you did. Thank you for calling and texting us like, April, the lights are not on. Is anybody in there? Like, you're at the wrong one. So thank you for making the effort. Do us a gentle favor and just tell us a little bit about, your background, because you have a very impressive and extensive background working in the marketing department at EMU. So please.
Hello, everyone, and my apologies again for the confusion. I was at Ann Arbor, Ipsy's Park, waiting for things there. Anyways, I'm Sherry Vivek. I'm a PhD in marketing. I've been teaching at Eastern for over 14 years now. Overall, I have taught for 32 years. So it's a long period teaching marketing at different places. I would say my favorite thing in marketing is customer engagement. I was one of the very initial researchers who came out with the customer engagement dimensions and the customer engagement scale. And I've been working with different companies on how to do the real engagement rather than, okay, look at the engagement in Facebook, right? That kind of thing. So the other side is I work a lot in supply chain. Which normally people think is not necessary to understand marketing, but my belief in my research shows that supply chains are very important because the supply chain doesn't end with the customer, it actually starts with the customer.
That leads me to my first question that I have for you, and it has something to do with engagement. Why do you feel that engagement is so important, and how do we help people understand the competitiveness that's drawn towards that?
So talking about engagement, there is different ways customer engagement is defined, and I'll not go into a lot of the academic stuff on that, but engagement is not about how many people clicked on your link. And especially a lot of companies, what they do is they're going to give a discount and make people like the brand or click on the brand. That kind of engagement doesn't stay for too long. Let's talk about human engagement as it used to happen. We would not like a person, we might just go out with the person for a drink and then forget about it because that evening we just needed to go out with somebody and this person was available or free or whatever. The Facebook kind of engagement that we do or companies are trying to do is more like that. In reality, engagement is about the other person, you getting into the other person's mind and staying there. And that can only happen with authenticity. You were just talking about it, your personal brand thing. And I saw that making a personal brand basically is kind of exposing yourself to people and saying, I'm here, this is who I am. I am not perfect. I am maybe a mix of good and bad, but I am genuine. And probably just sending that message either with your own personal brand or with the corporate brand. Rather than pushing on to sales, if we push on to relationships, something that used to happen a lot in the past, a lot. But now it's more about numbers and sales. And it's more about getting that one customer, selling something so that I have made my revenues for this year. But what about next time? Because you'll have to find a new customer. And if we just keep working and building relationship with the existing customers, it's so much easier to increase your sales or to keep your customers, which is more important. So authenticity being the very first thing with customer engagement. The second thing that we found was social connections. It's about selling the brand, that's one of the things. But along with that, the person you're selling the brand is a human being. They have needs, right? They feel about the brand. And nowadays, even if it's something pure technology or something, we feel like we're connected to it. It's an extension of us. So that's the second thing we found, that social connection is very important. Rather than standard emails going out and filling out your inbox. It bothers me when I get a lot of emails in my inbox, and I'm sure it bothers everybody. I know that advertising has become easy, promotion has become easy, but I guess doing less, but doing more authentic promotion with a more social connection to the customer helps a lot.
Absolutely.
So those are the two things I would say are very, very important, which is what most companies are kind of missing out on. It's not impossible to do it, even if you have a whole lot of customers, but there are ways that you have to develop right from the beginning to I would say those are the two things that set you apart as a company compared to the other companies.
And Mary Ann, I think you had a comment with that. Did you have a thought?
Well,
Thank you.
we pivot at a personal brand versus company brand.
Bring your mic up for me.
Because we pivoted in thinking about the Apple truck and how we originally were kind of really promoting our personal brand as part of our product. Come, look at us, look at our family, look at Michigan experience, all these things we experience. We want to share them with everybody and our whole story. And then this year we pivoted to making the customer the hero in our brand, which has really changed how we operate.
Give us an example.
Yeah,
of
the
making them a
customer,
hero.
the hero. Well, instead of us saying, "Oh, we want to give you this Michigan apple experience and come with us to the Apple Orchard, bringing it to you," look how great our children's childhood was. Kind of like when we pitch, we always do that story. We took it to look at what you're going to get to do with apples from Michigan. You're going to have the best tasting apples in the world be delivered to you. You're going to be able to share them with your family and friends. They're going to be fresh right from the orchard. You can make a pie with your daughter,
Okay, so you
granddaughter.
gave them ideas to do with the experience.
Yeah, but they made them the hero. Look at what you can do as the hero versus, we were kind of the heroes initially, which we do teach. I run the incubator. We teach them to pitch, tell us your story, but we've kind of flipped. And I think we also went to total e-commerce versus being on the road for 135 stops, which has been a huge pivot. So I think that's helped with that, just kind of being less personal. So, but the engagement, I totally agree with.
Absolutely.
Engagement challenge. So.
Absolutely. Bill, I got a quick question for you. How important is data analysis in optimizing marketing strategies for startups, in your opinion?
If it's okay, I want to start with something just a little bit
Absolutely.
different and come back to that.
Okay.
It's kind of a different way of thinking about marketing. Marketing has little m marketing and big M marketing. And little m marketing is the things that everybody knows about, right? It's advertising, it's trade shows, it's emails, it's social media, and a lot of the stuff that we've talked about here. Those are all tactics. Big M marketing is more the strategic stuff. And it all starts with insights. And I think you're going to talk a little bit more about this because it's your area of expertise. But it's insights into your customers. Know your customers really well. Do that customer discovery. Too many companies, especially tech companies, are solutions looking for a problem, right? Know your customer. People buy things that solve their pain in business. The second thing is know your competitors. And competitors aren't always obvious, right? A competitor can be do nothing because it's not that painful, right? So know your competitors, and then know your company, know yourself. What are your core competencies? What are you really good at? What is your superpower? Once you know those insights, you can develop a strategy. And the strategy is what markets are you going to serve? And especially for startups, and this is part of the whole scaling thing, right? Pick that market segment that you can dominate, that you are the best at. What are your offerings? And offerings are, what are your products? What are your pricing models? And then your positioning. And positioning should really be about the onlys. Like my company is the only company that can, relative to those competitors. And the reason why this is important, why I wanted to start with this, was because if you don't do the big M stuff, you end up doing random acts of marketing. And random acts of marketing turn into random acts of sales. When you have random acts of sales, you can see you can lose control of your strategy as a CEO. Just a quick story is the company I'm working for right now, I took over sales in addition to being their CMO. And I asked to see the sales presentations of my 5 salespeople. You would swear they were from 5 different companies. So if I can give one piece of advice to CEOs and their marketing teams, marketing writes the songs, sales sings the songs. Don't let sales write songs.
Interesting. I like that.
So now that you've got your big M marketing in place, now it's time to move to the tactics. And that's where data analytics comes in, right? Because you're going to be spending money, and it's really important to know what's working and what's not working. And I work with this great agency here in Ann Arbor. You saw their CEO talk earlier. He's sitting right over there, Benjamin. And he and I are right now wrestling with this issue, right? Because we spend all this money on different paid, including digital, organic, digital, social, and knowing which of the tactics are working and which ones aren't is critically important, especially when you have a limited budget to work with.
Very good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Corey, could you keep me on time? Because I don't want to go over. I think I want to make sure that it's not past 7:15, okay? Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so does anyone in the audience have a question, or did anything spark your interest that you want to ask? Now is the time. Yes, I have 2. So your hand was up first.
Okay. Yeah, international marketing. Our business is mostly international, mostly Middle East, some India, some China. And our experience is it's all face-to-face, it's all personal relationships. In fact, the more technology you try to use to reach them, the higher the barriers of making those personal connections. So a lot of travel, face-to-face meetings, develop that confidence, because there's little recourse if there's a problem, because of the difficulties in enforcing contracts, so it has to be face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
And one other thing is, I'm a curmudgeon, and I'm old school. And I see the AI trying to tell me, all of a sudden I'm interested in home furnishings, because one time I mentioned somewhere something about home furnishings. I get all these authentic ads saying, you want my home furnishings. I don't. And I resent the fact that you're intruding yourself in my space because I made a random comment somewhere, somehow in an email. So to me, again, it's all generational, I'm sure. But no, I like the good old fashioned in your face marketing.
Absolutely. I like that
Can I-
non-traditional. Yes.
Can I
go
respond
ahead.
to him? So international is a special part of know your customer. Remember, big M marketing, knowing your customer. And if the way your customer wants to receive information from you is face-to-face, that's an insight that you need to know about your customer before you do your go-to-market strategy. And international is this big thing, but international is actually like hundreds of things, because every international market has something that's just a little bit different.
A lot different.
And
Konnichiwa.
You know, you can always
Don't look
learn
at me on the
something.
bus either, because they don't give you eye contact. That's considered rude.
Transaction involved. And if you're selling a $20 widget versus $1 million machine, it's a whole different type of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I would like to get the question that this young lady had here. Would you please share?
Yeah, I was thinking about your comment, in terms of being social and the idea of like sort of looking to the past, how did we do it in the past? And, you know, I think about my company in particular, but I'm also working with other startups, and they've got lots and lots of customers. They will have customers that are their primo customers, that might be a quarter to a third of their entire customer base. That still might be a lot of people. So maybe you could get more clear for me on what you mean by being personally social. Like, what does that look like to you? In terms of
Being personally social.
So the important part, and I think I should have specified that too at that time, it doesn't mean going to each person and talking to them. And
That's a lot of customers
It's-
if
yeah,
you have 100,000.
it would be great, but probably not the best strategy. It's more about picking up the messaging, and it starts somewhere, the big M marketing, as Bill said. The important thing is to know what your customers like about your brand and how they use your brand. Most of the times we're looking at what our competitor is saying, and let's say something similar, right? Let's compete with the competitor rather than talk to the customer, right? So understanding what the customer wants and getting the message out of that, I think, especially with startups and all, a lot of times we've seen, I love this, I believe in this, so people should believe in this. We started, and then people did something, and they might not believe in the exact same thing that you believe in. So that's where the data comes in. Understanding the data in terms of how the customer is using your product, how they connect with your product, what is the purpose of the product. Right? If you have 50 products, which one is that one core product that the customer really loves? And getting the message out of that. So it's not about the personal connection that way, but it's not about talking so much about your product, but talking about the solution that you provided to the customer. We never sell products, we sell solutions. And as long as our product is a solution, the customer would love it and be connected with it.
Would you say that creating a persona for each customer or target market would make sense? And when I say the word persona, does people know what I'm talking about when I say persona? Okay, good. So
Segmentation.
yeah, the like, you know, let's say that there's a car and we know that a particular audience like that particular car. So you create the person like Barbie. Okay, Barbie has a car, she has a house, she has Ken who never marries her. So like all those things come into place when you're thinking of a persona. She always has her friends, she's always happy, she always wears nice clothes. So what's the persona of your customer? Like, you know, you have to do that research. And once you have that research, then you can actually have that data that you're talked about, and then you can kind of go further. But
And
it takes a little time.
Yeah, and it's about going beyond the demographics of the customers,
Yes.
beyond the geographics of the customers, understanding the psychographics, like what do they like, what is their lifestyle, what clicks with them. And you would see that a major segment of your customers would have a different persona, as you say, which includes their lifestyle, their thinking, their beliefs, all of that. And that needs to go into the messaging.
Yes.
That's the most important part, because if you can gather that share of customers, and I'll tell you about some places that I've been working with. The startup tries to make me believe this is who we are. Like, no, you think this is who you are, but your customers think this is who you are. It's important to listen to what the customers think. You might find a midway somewhere, but majority of the times the customer doesn't think the same way as you think about yourself. And that's where the difference is, finding out what the customer thinks, what the customer's lifestyle is, where does your product fit into that. And then all the messaging that we talk about, the advertising, the promotion, the product packaging, all of that needs to go into, all this information needs to go into the marketing. tactics how we decide those.
How many,
That's the important part.
how many people do you think invest in that part of marketing? I find that it's difficult for people to see the invisible part of marketing, like this strategy approach. Can I get a raise of hands? How many people in this room invest in what we just talked about, the persona, that research part of their marketing business? Okay, so that means there's a lot of people who do not, and that's a very major important part. So how do you change that trajectory right now, starting today? How are you going to find answers to what we just talked about so that you could actually make a movement on what we talked about? So I want you to think about that, but at the end, please feel free to talk to any one of these individuals to kind of help you get started on that. Because we want to make a difference. That's why we're here. We want to make a difference in the behaviors that we are accumulating for marketing purposes, because it is an invisible sell. You don't always see it right away, right?
And it goes beyond, well, we are, I don't know if you know, we received a grant from Spark, and we're launching 100 new businesses a year at Washington County
Good.
College Incubator. So we have 3 classes starting, one in March, one in June, and one in October. So if you know anybody who's interested in starting a business, please send them our way.
Excellent, we will.
But we do teach customer discovery, which like Spark does too, but also we are setting people up to constantly keep that customer discovery going on forever.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them just ended after they get their, product ready to go, or software or whatever. But I said, okay, no, keep going. There's a lot of resources out there. We send them to U of M, to engineering, or that, to keep, because they'll help them discovering. And we at the Apple Truck, we do research all the time, because that's what I do. So we definitely always know who our customers are. We even use our chat as a research tool. So we look for, we ask probing questions through our chat and our website to see, is there something you understand? We learned so much there, almost more than we did in some of our surveys in the chat, with questions people were asking that were not covered on our website.
Excellent.
Actually, chat is a great way to understand your customers, especially given that now we have AI. If you put all of your chat into AI, you actually get great results out of that, understanding what the customer wants to say or how the customer relates with you.
Their love
That's-
language, I hear that
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
word.
yeah. Of course. Right. That's that. And then the other part also is all of the data that's coming because of the softwares are changing. You have all the Salesforce data. You have all kinds of data out there. Take the time to get that data and get more insights rather than, okay, this is what I want and I don't care about the rest of the data. There's too much data coming nowadays, and it's becoming easier and easier to analyze that data. Even for the smallest customers, there is a lot of data.
Nadia, for the last few minutes, can you talk a little bit about AI and marketing and how that could help, as brief as possible, because I want everybody still to digest the information but still apply it.
I'll make it rapid fire. I reiterate the importance of customer discovery and leverage the heck out of that. Seriously, it's a treasure trove. There are studies that showed that customer-centric design thinking that involves the customers from early on, from the customer discovery, takes them on that journey during product development. They become your ambassadors. That's going to reduce your costs for marketing. It's going to give you insights. You're going to use their language to speak to them. Think about the conversion when you do that. The second thing is, nowadays, we have the lowest barrier to entry of tech and leveraging tech. So you can do more with less. Even if you are a solopreneur, you can run a whole company, do the whole from customer discovery to product development to having high converting sales pages or opt-in pages. An excellent one is at 60%. When you use AI and you do those big M's in marketing, talking to your customers and so on, and you build on that, that's your foundation, you're going to get to 80, 90% opt-in rate for your emails. The second one, grow your email list. It's going to reduce your dependency on social media or on third party. It's going to increase your return on your investment. And by investment, it's not just the money, on your time. And it's going to build those relationships with your customers. So by the time you have a product in the market, you have a warm audience that's ready to buy from you. You're not dealing with a cold audience anymore. And for that, you can use AI to customize so every single segment or even customer you have, they feel they are a party of one. You can personalize like never before.
I know that was a lot. Did you guys get that? If not, you have to look at the recording. Right, Lynn? Larry? Logan. I need my glasses. Thank you, Logan. Yes.
For one assignment for our new incubator class was start your list, your customer list, your stakeholder list. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So
Validation.
we're using AI at my company right now.
Really?
With our business development reps. These are outbound reps. They run email sequences. They do connections on LinkedIn. They leave voicemails and that sort of thing. And what the AI actually does is it inhales our website
Wow.
and any materials that we've created, assuming we did the big M right and our materials,
Right.
represent our product. And then it goes to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter X, sorry, and it learns about the person you're about to send an email to, and it crafts a personalized email for each person.
That's scary.
And my one recommendation is don't trust it.
Don't trust it.
This is not a technology right now that you can set and forget because you're going to send some awful crap to people. So it's a big productivity enhancer. You can increase your throughput on your outbound campaigns, but you got to do QA on it.
Thank you. Just so we can have extra time for conversation afterwards, I want to at least give them a round of applause, thanking everyone for coming out today. Thank you so much. And thank you all as well. I appreciate you. And I'm going to hand the meeting over to Dave, and thank you all for being here tonight.